Hey everyone, I'm Soorya Ramesh.
And I'm John Ravi, and you're listening to Two
Two
Brown
Brown
Accents.
Accents.
Today, we're going to be talking about time management.
And before we get started on that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ding!
So, today, I'm going to be interviewing Soorya. Soorya is an engineer at Apple, and he has to juggle a lot of things. So, time management is pretty key to his life and keeping things less stressful, I guess. Basically, like time management, what I think about time management is prioritizing or consciously prioritizing certain things in your life so that you can be more efficient and reduce the stress in your life. So achieving better work-life balance.
Yep, exactly. And it's not just what I do. I mean, everyone, I think, like time management is one of the most important concerns. People are always juggling between work, personal life, there's a bunch of other tasks. Yeah,
Would you
it's
say that you're good at time management?
no, I would say I have consistently improved over the course of time, but I feel like my goals have always gotten further and further away from me. So I'm still getting there. I don't know if there's a perfect time management, time manager there, but yeah, want to get as close as possible to that. Yeah.
It's a journey, not really a destination.
Yeah, I don't think you can achieve it in a day, or like, even if you were to achieve it, I think you're going to be putting so much stress on yourself. So, is it at some point, something's going to break, or you might not, like, you might fall ill sick, right? Because you're just pushing yourself. So, it's, you got to kind of like figure it out, work towards it, get there.
Do you have any specific strategies that you're following right now?
I've juggled between a lot of different strategies. So, from back in college when I almost had so much time and I could do whatever. And
Oh, you're saying in college you had more time than like right now?
oh, yeah, easily. I had so much more time. College was just, I used to ditch all my classes. I used to only study during the exams, which was like 3 hours, 4 hours maybe. Be up all night. And it was a wonderful time. Sometimes classes had mandatory attendance, which was kind of the worst part of my day. But other than that, just text people, be like, hey, you want to go out for lunch or dinner, which is still what I do. But yeah, back then it was so much easier. And I think it was after I joined work, right? Which is when, and there's been like multiple times in my life when I kind of wanted to. There's like all these people, like even in college, if you take it, like there's people who are studying every day or every week. They're like trying to catch up to courses, trying to be on top of things. And I was like, I always used to think of those people as, oh, these people are robots. They've given into life. They kind of want everything perfect. They're not willing to risk anything, that kind of stuff. And after I joined work, that's when, things started getting to me because I wouldn't finish my tasks on time, especially when I started off. I'd have tasks and I keep pushing it to my closer to my deadline, just like I used to do in college.
Mm.
But here, sometimes, people used to be like, "Hey, what's happening? Why are you like screwing up? Why aren't the results out?" And many times I've given into the thought of, "Oh, maybe I should become a robot, right? I'm just gonna work 8 to 5. I'm just gonna not think about anything, just work, work, work." That didn't work for me either. But yeah, so I think after that I started consciously putting in more effort into. Till then I've been curious about time management, but after that I started putting in more conscious effort into maybe working on reminders, using different apps, for example, or like trying to that kind of stuff. Just reminders, put stuff into my calendar, put stuff into just task management, just a bunch of things. At some point, I did too much, and then it was overwhelming.
Mm.
And now I think I kind of figured out the right approach or something that works for me, right? To each person their own, but yeah, something on the lines is what I'd say is my journey. Yeah.
Mm. Have you heard of time boxing?
Yes, I do. I think so. Yeah, time boxing is, for those who don't know, time boxing is just like whenever you think of a task, you just kind of like allot a task, put it on your calendar, and you just like strike it out, right? Like nobody else can book that time with you. And yeah, so like when people want to, like hop on a call with you, you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy doing this task." So you just like give them another time, right? It's kind of like when you have meetings at work and like because there's 20 people attending, you kind of have to go to that meeting, right? You don't give that time to anyone else. But time boxing is just you doing that, but instead of 20 people, you're just doing it for yourself, for your own tasks.
Because sometimes like tasks can um take longer if you don't give it a certain amount of fixed time to do it.
Exactly. And I think, the issue with, let's say every time you get a message, if you get distracted, and let's say you're like working on this, um, let's say you're working on this huge thing, or, I want to kind of simplify it for our audience. I don't want to talk about like technical terms.
Sure.
Let's say you're going grocery shopping, and then one of your friends like, hey, do you want to get dinner today? Or do you want to hang out? And you say, oh, let's do it. And you just immediately leave, like midway through grocery shopping, you just drop that and you start thinking about what you can do or stuff like that. Suddenly you forget what you need to buy on your grocery list. And now, once your call is done and you've decided what you want to do with your friend, you're like on a call in the middle of the grocery store. You need to like get back and you need to be like, oh, did I already buy the oranges, or do I need to go back to the orange aisle? Like, people's memories are not that bad, but when I say, like context switching, it does take some time.
Yeah.
And that's why people usually time box, right? Because when you say 2 hours for this task, you don't get distracted. When somebody sends you a message, when somebody gives you a call, you say, hey, I'm not going to pick this up. I'm going to finish my grocery shopping. I'm going to go back home, or maybe on my drive back, which is fine because I'm not planning on doing anything else. If on your drive you say, I want to listen to a podcast, listen to the podcast. Go back home when you find the time, give that person a call back and make your plans, right? If you already committed to somebody else, don't commit to somebody else at the same time. That kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Saying all of that, I don't follow time boxing, but but that's what time boxing
I mean,
is.
if you take this concept to the extreme, you have like wait till the last minute to do something because then it'll only take 1 minute to do it.
There is a quote, right? Work fills itself up so as to how much remaining time there is. I've
Exactly.
definitely quoted that the worst way possible, but there's a quote something on those lines.
Yeah.
Yes, which is kind of half my approach for a lot of my tasks, but also with experience, you kind of understand a lot of things screw up, so you want to not push it to the end. You kind of want to I'm like somewhere in the middle. I push things a little bit. I also try to do it like midway through, not too close to deadlines, which is what I used to do in college.
So I actually have this friend. I'm not gonna name who it is in case we might have them on our podcast one day.
Hmm.
But he time boxes literally everything, even the time he spends with his girlfriend. Um, what are your thoughts on this? And would you ever do it?
No, I don't think. I mean, so yeah, time boxing is a little too extreme for me. Not even like ignore the girlfriend part or anything, right? Like time boxing itself is too extreme for me because I'm just I need that fluidity, if I want to like screw something up or move something, when something shows up, it is higher priority. I want to change it. So back in a few months back, I used to have task managers, and like every day I used to put what task belongs to what sub project, when I'm supposed to get it done with, and like keep looking at it. And that was just a little too much for me because after a point, there's like too many projects. Like at some point, I had like too many hierarchies, and I had too many different projects. And the thing was, every time I had a task, I had to think for 3 minutes before I could put it in a folder,
Hmm.
right? Um, like, do I want to classify my grocery stores by area, or do I want to classify my areas by grocery store? Like, you get it. Like, if I want to go to Target, do I want to always like, do I decide like if area A is the target I want to go to? Should I go to Target when I go to that area, or should I decide like, oh, I'm going grocery shopping and go to all the grocery stores one after the other?
Hmm.
So it's like, how do you arrange your folders? And many times there's like intersections, right? Like, um, and that kind of got overwhelming after a point. It was just like every time I had to add a task, if it took me 3 minutes, I didn't want to add a task. That's why right now I do kind of dynamic time boxing.
Hmm.
And dynamic time boxing is, I'll like have 3 tasks for today. I'll add it to my calendar and everything. But if I don't feel like it, I kind of just skip on it. Obviously, priorities and other stuff come into the picture. But if I didn't do that task today, I just drag it on my calendar and put it on the next day, right? And next day, hopefully, I get to it. And if I don't, I drag it again. And I still keep getting my tasks done in a day. If I have like 3 different tasks I time box for, at least one or two, I try to get it done. So I am making constant progress, but it's also like there's a lot of fluidity. And when it comes to my personal life, again, like I make plans, and when I make plans for dinner or something, I add it to my calendar so I don't like double book myself. But also, I don't think you should time box too many things. Like, one fine day, maybe you decide to do something spontaneous. You want some time for that. And I think you should have that. You should, like, in the least, I say, like, keep some time free in your calendar. And then on that day, if you feel like resting, just rest.
Hmm.
Don't time box it saying, hey, this is for rest and I'm not going to do anything. If you feel like resting, rest. If you feel like calling someone up and hanging out, if they're free, go for it, right? Like, you want some fluidity. And And I think that kind of adds that nice flavor. You're also kind of excited. Maybe you don't know what you're gonna do. Like you don't want your entire life like a machine,
Mm.
like a robot, like I said, right? Like you kind of want that little bit of a human touch to it.
Sure, yeah.
And I really enjoy that, so I don't think I could do that. But yeah, something on those lines.
Are there anything specific strategies for optimizing an engineer's or like a programmer's like time management? For
Yeah,
example, like I think I've heard recently that if you like you shouldn't spend more than 4 hours on a particular like at a time like trying to work because you start getting unproductive after 4 hours. And sometimes I used to spend like late nights coding, and then I realize that I'm not solving anything. Go to sleep, wake up in the morning. Within like 5-10 minutes, I can figure out what I was doing wrong, right?
100% believe in that, right? Because it's like it's just you need a break, and breaks really help. And the easiest example I give, and it's happened to me so many times, especially when I'm working for too many hours back to back, is just let's say there's a problem and I'm pulling an all-nighter. I haven't slept for like, I don't know, 15, 20 hours. I've just been working on this one thing. I've just been thinking about this assignment. And the thing is, um, I don't get it. And I go to bed, sleep for 6 hours, wake up, and within 5 minutes, I figure out, oh, I just missed a semicolon, or I just have to, something so dumb, right? And the thing is, it's as you keep looking at a problem, especially debugging or something like that, I feel like it's you kind of get like narrow-minded. You go like, you get short-sighted and you
Yeah.
keep looking at the same thing. You think that's the only way to solve the problem, and it's not. That part is perfect. And you're looking at it for hours and not making progress. You go to bed, wake up, and suddenly you look at the whole picture and you're like, oh, this makes sense. Takes you less than 5 minutes.
Hmm.
So I say like if you're stuck on anything more than you know like honestly I try to not put in effort more than 10 minutes because like usually somebody else knows the answer. I just try to like get a fresh set of eyes. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Like if I'm making progress, then it's fine. If I'm making zero progress for like I don't know 30 minutes, 1 hour, I just stop. Like just context switch, do something else, talk to somebody else, just go on a walk, do anything else, right? So yeah, that's I don't know if it's just engineers, maybe everyone.
Hmm.
And as far as time management is concerned, I want to say these are the three things you want to be on top of, and I think you can almost get your life sorted. One, you want to have your calendar sorted. Two, your tasks sorted, and three, your notes. If you're having a conversation with somebody, it's okay to take notes, right? Like honestly, if you and me are talking as friends, it's still fine. If we're talking about something interesting, you know just like after you leave, just write like a line or two about that, right? It's kind of like journaling. I'm not saying I don't journal, but if it's something important and if it's something new and you learn something, just write a line or two about it, right? It's not like you have to read it again, but at some point in your life, if you remember, if you can find that note, go for it, right? And I think if you have these three things sorted, for the most part you have your entire life sorted. And for me personally, as I said, I dynamic time box, so my tasks and calendar are together. My tasks are in my calendar. So yeah, for me, it's just the calendar and notes. And with that, I feel like, again, as I say, I have a lot of improvements to do, but I feel like I'm very sorted. I'm as close to perfect as I've been in my entire life.
So far.
So far, yeah.
That's good. Okay. Well, share in the comments below what you guys do for your time management. I wanted to talk about one more thing in today's podcast. So every week I wanted to share.
Oh, one more thing. Also, if you guys have any ideas that, we should talk about, or you guys follow that we didn't talk about today, let us know so that we can also incorporate it into our flows.
Leave a comment below or email us at twobrown@gmail.com.
Yep. Oh, John, you were saying, sorry to cut you off.
No worries. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about some new technologies, maybe every other episode. Today, so I heard about something that was really intriguing to me. So this company called Cognition introduced this new product. It's a first fully automated AI software engineer.
Right. I think,
It's called Devin.
okay, I think I watched a few Insta reels about something like
It's
that.
starting to become a meme. Like a
Yeah,
lot of software engineers are like, "Oh, like this is a thing now. Maybe I'll just quit my job and go work at McDonald's."
sure.
Right? But like, what are your thoughts on this? Right? Like, first of all, do you think this is something that will replace your job, or like, do you think it'll actually be useful? Because I have some thoughts on this too. Like, I feel like, um, co-pilots or coding assistants or any type of assistance is probably more useful and probably doable than completely replacing a human in a certain like environment. So like for example, sometimes I use coding assistants to help me program, right?
Hmm.
Writing like small functions or for loops. But do you think it can replace everything?
I'm gonna give you a short answer. This is not our topic for the day, but
Sure.
no, I think AI is gonna be the future, right? It's gonna slowly start becoming a thing. It's gonna become a part of our everyday lives, just like the internet 30 years ago versus now. But I think it's not gonna replace jobs. It's not gonna replace all jobs. It's gonna be more like we have to understand and learn how to work with AI,
Yep.
and they're gonna be our friends, they're gonna be our colleagues, and we have to learn how to use them to our advantage rather than give in and just give up on life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to end our podcast today.
All right. Yeah. Catch you guys next one. Bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.